Welcome to the Contrarians, where we are right and you are wrong. I'm Julio.
And I'm Alex. Here on the show, we rage against the Rotten Tomatoes machine. For the first half of each episode, Contrarians Corner, we trash the fresh red tomatoes and praise the rotten green splotches, making our case any way we can.
The aptly titled Real Talk serves as the second half of each episode. This is where we discuss our true feelings on the movie we're covering. For more information on our podcast and to browse past episodes, you can head over to our website, wearethecontrarians.com.
From there, you can also access our Patreon and merchandise, because capitalism.
If you enjoy our attempts at comedic film discussions, we encourage you to subscribe and leave us a review on whatever podcatcher you use.
If you'd like to reach out to us directly, that's what social media is for. You can find us on most platforms as @ContrarianPrime.
You can also see what we look like if you go to youtube.com/@ContrarianPrime, and you can contact us by email at wearethecontrarians@gmail.com.
I think that covers it.
Then it's time for the podcast. And we're recording for Contrarians Corner for Bladerunner, the final cut.
Good. I was hoping I watched the right one. I think that's pretty much what's just on streaming anywhere right now, but we'll get to that. Get to the iterations of this film here shortly. Hello, and welcome to the Contrarians, where we're right and you're wrong. My name is Alex, joined as always by my Peruvian counterpart, my Peruvian replicant for the day, Julio. Julio Oliver. No, it means we're going to fall in love. It's going to be all right.
Yeah, but then our time is limited. I guess everybody's time is limited. That's the whole point of Edward James Olmos's final line. All right, let's go on this journey together.
Not alone, though, and we'll get to who's joining along with us momentarily. But as Julio mentioned, we are here today to discuss the 1982 sci-fi film helmed by Ridley Scott, Bladerunner, a very legendary movie in its own right, a very revered movie, and sadly a movie that's pretty relevant to today's technological breakthroughs with artificial intelligence and whatnot. A Harrison Ford vehicle in a Star Wars world, and a movie that I think you would say at this point, Julio, famously was not like a financial success in its time. It is regarded as one of the more like, I guess you'd say, respected cult movies, but it didn't set the world on fire the way you'd think it would by its modern reputation and appreciation.
Yeah, there's no way that this was the first instance of a movie failing spectacularly and then eventually getting... I guess that's what we would call the Donnie Darko effect, right? You bomb at the beginning.
We can call it something else.
And then you find your audience, and then suddenly you're celebrated and beloved, and you might even get a sequel. So it has to have happened before Blade Runner, but I think Blade Runner is certainly kind of like the poster child for that kind of thing. And, it's celebrated by audiences, by film buffs, by critics, and by anybody who wants to be taken seriously as a film connoisseur. Alex, this is the kind of thing that we just can't do on our own.
Absolutely. That is correct. So, Julio, who's joining us? Who's picking up the gun and running down the perennially raining streets of Los Angeles with us?
Making their way through the smog, the fog, the doves, like all the shit that Ridley Scott throws at them. It's a sci-fi movie, so of course we have to bring the sci-fi experts in our circle. So that'll be Ryan and Rachel from the Yum Yum Pod, who, funnily enough, their last appearance on the show was for Star Trek The Motion Picture, so another sci-fi classic. Welcome back to the show, Ryan and Rachel.
Thank you for having us.
Pleasure to be here. Last time we talked about Star Trek The Motion Picture, and you asked us what would we like to come back and talk about, and it was just, Blade Runner. We got to talk about Blade Runner. And to answer your question, Julio, about like cult classic status thing in the way that Blade Runner did, you could just say John Carpenter's career. That's an answer to that too. The Thing, right? Is probably a great example. Never forget, it was also a critical failure as well. Never forget that The Thing was panned by critics and also came out the same weekend as E.T.
That I remember, yes.
Oh, go back and read the Siskel and Ebert reviews, and they just called the John Carpenter's The Thing like a pathetic excuse of a remake and just a gore fest, a geek fest, because it was like, it's all about the prop stuff. Oh, it sucks. That's film history. Also, Blade Runner was a bit critically divisive at the time too. It was just like, oh, this is very slow. Like now we're in the 80s, but this has like both 80s aesthetic stuff, but also that 70s sci-fi pacing.
I mean, it's set in 2019, the movie itself, and I mean, I don't know if Ridley Scott and his screenwriters, if they were being optimistic about the future or not dark enough now that we're in 2025 and the streets of Los Angeles are probably as war-torn, probably more so than what you see in this movie. So
it's more fires than rain, though.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Well, I was thinking more of like the Blade Runners in today's reality. They're called ICE agents, and they're hunting down immigrants.
Yeah. How does it feel? How does it feel that your main guy is just a robot ICE agent for you? Doesn't it feel great? He's a slave catcher. He's a slave catcher. It's awesome.
I don't want to get too far ahead, but I got to tell you, this is every time I watch Blade Runner, I like Deckard less and less, and this time I just found him despicable. So we'll get into it.
You know for a fact that he would pull a gun on you. He would just look at you, just like, all right, you need to go. He's just grabbing that gun out and just cocking it. Just.
Alex, I can never remember if you've seen this one before, or was this finally your maiden voyage with Blade Runner?
No, I'd seen it before. I was trying to think about watching it here if I'd ever seen it like all in one sitting, but I had seen it, this version too, because the famous difference between this and like the original version or the theatrical version was there was a voiceover, correct?
Right.
Yeah. So I've only ever seen this version of it. So I forgot how just wet Rutger Hauer is the entire time. But
He's a moist boy.
He is a very moist boy. Handsome man who aged 40 years in the time between this and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But, you know, I guess
it's the hair. It's the haircut.
That's what the 90s will do, or the 80s will do to you, I should say. Yeah, an interesting cast. Sean Young, which there's much to talk about there, which I assume is going to come in the second half of this. But
I'm more of a James Hong fan myself, but yeah, we can talk about Sean Young later.
Cassandra's dad from Wayne's World 2. Yeah, I'll take it.
William Sanderson, he's here too. Everyone's favorite little guy, one of the Darryls.
It is a famous movie, no doubt. It in 93 got entered into the National Film Registry, which, Julio, we always bring up here domestically. The Library of Congress deemed it worthy. What is its current standing on our guiding light, Rotten Tomatoes?
So I have two scores for you because they have two separate entries. So there's the classic Blade Runner.
Earns.
Yeah. So classic Blade Runner is at 89% certified fresh, 132 critical reviews, 91% on the popcorn meter. But then they created its own thing for the final cut, and that one is 94% fresh, but not certified fresh because not enough people logged the reviews there.
I have to question this. When it comes to the original, like the previous one, I wonder, are they still rating it on what the theatrical was or the director's cut that came out in the early 90s that was also around for a very long time? Like the final cut was like 2007, right?
Yeah. It was.
Yep. So the other cut was around for like a good while.
It doesn't matter because that 89% is a mix of all of them. I was going through the quotes, and there's quotes from the original, there's quotes from the director's cut, there's quotes from the final cut. So I don't think anybody gave instructions to the critics on how to log the reviews for the different versions. So the easiest thing to do is just to jump into the hodgepodge of quotes that is the entry for the original Blade Runner and just kind of take that 89% certified fresh as the official score.
Either way, it's fresh.
It's not good enough. Not good as you. I need you, Dex. This is a bad one. The worst yet. I need the old Blade Runner. I need your magic.
All right, so some fresh quotes from all over the place. Sometimes they don't specify the cut. Sometimes they do. I grabbed a whole bunch. We're going to go with John G. Puccio from Movie Metropolis, who says, stylistically, Blade Runner is the Citizen Kane of sci-fi movies.
Okay.
What is the Citizen Kane of sci-fi movies if it's not Blade Runner?
I was thinking,
Alien?
I was thinking the same thing.
Depends what era of science fiction you want to go by. Like, Citizen Kane is a film that influenced many films. So if you want to go with that, yeah, you could say Alien. You could say Blade Runner. You could say any 1950s sci-fi movie as well, like War of the Worlds or Forbidden Planet, which then influences. I mean, realistically, you could say the Flash Gordon films. They gave us Star Wars and so many other things. Like, where do you draw that line?
And it's also in what capacity?
Because Citizen Kane, I mean, everybody loves it. So, or at least they pretend to love it. So would it be, is 2001 too late?
Okay.
But it's just like Citizen Kane like pioneered a bunch of things that then, defined cinema.
Okay, let me narrow it down like this. How many times has The Simpsons referenced Blade Runner? Not many, huh? How many times has it referenced Citizen Kane? It's referenced every scene of Citizen Kane. So which sci-fi film has The Simpsons referenced the most?
Planet of the Apes?
Let's give that a... Planet of the Apes? The Lost in Space show? You know what?
2001, yeah.
Yeah, 2000. It's probably 2001 by the metric, yeah.
Mm.
All right. Well, there you go. John G. Puccio, we've found an alternate take to yours. Next, Brendan Judell from New York Theater Wire says, this is the 10th final version of the Blade Runner. This version is the best. It goes snap, snap, snap. Whatever that means. I don't know if he's exaggerating. It could be very well that there are 10 different cuts of Blade Runner that have been out at some point or another.
There probably is like TV cuts as well as Ridley's cuts, as well as a theatrical cut, as well as one we found on the street.
Yes, the VHS tape that Ridley Scott doesn't show anyone, that's just for him.
The letterboxing effect on it,
Yeah,
all of
the
it.
pan and scan. The one that we watched, the final cut, I mean, they all follow the same structure, but this one is specifically the one that doesn't have the voiceover and the one that has the unicorns, right? Like, are those the two main things? In this
I don't know what the difference between the director's cut and this cut really is. Like, when you look at it, it's like the most tiny things, like this ADR was slightly fixed up, or this color palette was slightly heightened, or it's brighter looking now. So now you can see the dishes in Deckard's apartment. It's like, all right.
That makes such a huge difference.
Tells you so much about the
My
character.
My perspective on this film has completely changed because I can see his dishes.
Ridley Scott just pushing the enhance button all the way into the 4K. All right, next, Doug Cummins from Film Journey. Alex, this one's just for you. I know you're going to love it. He says, the film's noisy sound mix and congested pictorialism, as if it had been directed by a crazed postmodern von Sternberg, is a direct corollary to its moral ambiguity and sense of climatic human exploration. In parentheses,
I am so bored.
Technological and social.
I'll sum that up. I'll sum that up. He just says the film's wanky.
And so am I.
Yeah, that was such a weirdly convoluted way to say basically nothing.
Well, Rachel,
right?
He had a word count he had to get to.
No, but you feel like he was really satisfied with that.
Oh, yeah. He was dabbing his forehead as he hit the enter key.
Yeah.
I don't know when was the last time that I used the word. I know for a fact I've never used the word pictorialism. Corollary, maybe. Postmodern, usually when I'm trying to be funny. And, moral ambiguity, I think that's just something we live with these days.
Yeah.
So that's different. But these classic movies, unfortunately, part of their baggage is that they seem to bring out the worst in film critics as far as pretension. So if the movie wasn't pretentious enough, don't worry, because the reviews are going to add to it and definitely.
Especially if they're looking back on it.
Yep.
It's just like, oh my God, it's a masterpiece.
On a more simple level, we're going to close with Amber Wilkinson from Eye for Film, who simply says, beg, borrow, or steal a ticket to see it on the biggest screen you can find. And that, Amber, is why movie theaters are struggling, because people are stealing tickets to go see movies in big screens. Has any of you watched Blade Runner on the big screen? Because I actually was lucky enough to catch when they did the final cut release in theaters, whenever it is that it was. I actually was able to watch in a movie theater, and it was a pretty cool experience.
Nice.
And I know Ryan and Rachel, we were just talking about this before we started recording. You watched 2049 in theaters at IMAX pretty recently, but how about the original? Have you had a chance to catch it in the big screen?
No, I haven't. I've only ever watched it at home.
Nor have I. I've never seen it on the big screen. I've seen it on my TV, but I also saw it, I guess, projected in a classroom environment, but never have I seen it in the movie theater.
The way Ridley Scott intended. You have to put that on your bucket list.
Ridley Scott has a lot of intentions that I plan to tick off the bucket list. Like, let's finish off that Prometheus trilogy. I want to know about what happened to David and his little experiments. Let's tick that off the list.
I want to see what he fingers next.
I want to see what he fingers next.
All right. Well, those were the quotes. Alex, are you ready for Contrarians Corner?
I already had an IQ test this year. I don't think I've ever had
The
one of
action
these.
time is a factor in this, so please pay attention. Now answer as quickly as you can.
It is the year 2019, Los Angeles. Does it say November? I felt like it says like a month or something. Anyway, it's right before COVID. That's the important thing to keep in mind. Former police officer Rick Deckard, this is Harrison Ford, is detained by Officer Gaff, who likes to make origami figures, and is brought to his former supervisor, Bryant. This is M. Emmett Walsh, who recently had some praise from us on our
Romeo and Juliet, was it?
No. He's the attorney in Time to Kill.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Emmett Walsh deserves praise all of the time. He's an actor that you're never disappointed to see show up.
No.
He was in Christmas with the Cranks.
I knew that was coming.
That notwithstanding, I'm pretty sure that was the central focus of our praise of him in that movie was just Emmett Walsh. Round of applause.
He's here.
Yeah. America's granddad, Emmett Walsh. Was it weird seeing him so young in this movie, Alex?
He still looked old.
Yeah, I was about to say, young is relative.
He just had greased hair.
Yeah.
He looked like he was ready to be in Blood Simple. He did have that look to him.
He looked more sleazy than wholesome, but the age was still there.
Yeah.
I'm used to him playing scumbags, so that's fine with me. This is right in the usual lane.
I feel like haggard is a good word.
Yeah. He's seen stuff that you wouldn't believe, guys.
He calls you pal.
Hey, pal. Deckard, whose job as a Bladerunner was to track down bioengineered humanoids known as replicants and terminally, quote, retire them, is informed that 4 replicants are on Earth illegally. Deckard begins to leave, but Bryant makes veiled threats and Deckard stays. The two watch a video of a Blade Runner named Holden administering the Voight-Kampff test, which is designed to distinguish replicants from humans based on their emotional responses to questions. Their test subject, Leon, shoots Holden. On the second question, Brian wants Deckard to retire Leon and the 3 other Nexus 6 replicants, Roy Batty, Zora, and Pris. Is it Pris or Pris?
Pris.
Okay.
Pris.
So, obviously, setting the stage here, Harrison Ford does have a bit of the swagger of the "it's my last day on the job." He loves himself some noodles. But yeah, he doesn't really want to be there. I think the bigger part of this, though, is the use of these replicants. So, correct me if I'm wrong here. So, I'm thinking AI is basically the way a lot of corporations and companies are using it are to put people out of work and replace them and just put people out on the streets. These replicants were built to essentially just be like manufactured slaves. I think it's said as much in this movie. So it it is somehow more mean-spirited than AI.
Oh, yeah. You know it's serious when one of the replicants is played by usual scary man character actor Brian James as Leon, and he has these fucking scary ass creepy eyes, and yet he's speaking the most reason in this film, where it's like, we're slaves and that's bad and we're afraid all the time, and we cut to Deckard and his lot being like, they're such whiners, let's just hunt them down.
Well, when you said that Deckard looked like he didn't really want to be there. I mean, I think that that applies to Harrison Ford, who he has a persona outside of the movies, right? Like when this performance from Harrison Ford, it gave me big like press junket energy, because Harrison Ford just doesn't. He's well known for not really liking to play the PR game and going to interviews and promoting his movies, and that's how he felt here as he was making the movie. I don't think I've ever seen him come across as so uninterested in putting on a performance whenever.
Oh, I disagree, buddy. I disagree. I've seen him in films. Harrison Ford has 2 modes. He can be the most charismatic, presence you've ever seen.
Or a void
of charisma. He does not fall in between. He is either committed or fully disengaged. I've rarely seen like a midway point with him. It's like, oh, I love watching him as Indy or Han Solo or seeing him as the president.
But yeah, people
and
try and justify him being a void of charisma as an acting choice in this.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, I think it's a translation of his mood. I think that he had that Star Wars swagger going in. He was Han Solo, and I think that maybe he felt that he was a little too big for this project.
Another fucking sci-fi film? What am I? I'm not talking about Yoda.
Yeah.
So, yeah, timeline-wise, it is important to call out this is post-Empire Strikes Back, but pre-Return of the Jedi. So his last words said on film were, I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with basically everything that was being said in terms of Harrison Ford. He is in movie, and that is a pretty common occurrence.
Line.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll hit my mark and maybe I'll pronounce the words in a way people can hear it. If you're lucky. Maybe I'll enunciate. Maybe I won't.
I felt so uncomfortable when he's kissing Rachel.
Well, there's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah, that scene alone is
Rachel.
Like
minefield.
That's down the line, I just needed to say it.
Rachel, as the woman here who's also called Rachel, I feel like you may have some opinions about how the gender stuff is handled in this film.
Maybe.
We'll make our way to it, but Alex, we had a little bit of a Edward James almost talk as we were getting ready to start recording, and Ryan brought up Miami Vice, which I was glad somebody did, and it wasn't me, because I was going to feel really older than I am, because that was my first exposure to James Edward Olmos. But now I see him and I think Selena's dad.
Yeah, of course.
You guys, Ryan, Rachel, you are the sci-fi guy, so you think the president from Battlestar Galactica, probably, right?
Admiral, please.
Admiral.
The president's a woman in that show.
Okay,
Progressive.
I haven't seen it.
Progressive show. It's a woman.
Kindergarten teacher.
Yeah, the Minister of Education becomes president. Pretty laughable stuff. And a woman, please, But Edward, he plays an admiral in that. Yeah, he plays Adama, Daddy Adama. He's the dad of the show.
How about you, Alex? Where do you know him from?
I mean, he's Selena's dad. That's
he
accurate.
is Selena's. Okay.
Stand to Deliver also.
But I guess what I was going to say is, like, we all know him as one of the most prominent Hispanic actors in Hollywood. He's kind of, one of the pioneers. And so when he shows up in this movie and he's not speaking Spanish, did that throw you off?
Admiral Kovishin Engambite. He say you under arrest, Mr. Decker.
I mean, he definitely has a different look in this. That's the
one of the trivia facts about him is, like, he wanted his character to be ethnically ambiguous. So, he has these different color eyes, he has the hairstyle, he has the skin color that's slightly changed. He's doing multiple accents depending like what sentence or scene he's in. Like, it's all over the place because his character is by design a mystery. Like, what is this guy's deal? I like too, like, later on in the movie, he does like this acting touch with the cane where it's like he's really like hobbling with the cane, but in every other scene, he walks just fine. It's like he is putting on a performance as a character putting on a performance.
Man, he sounds like he thought about it a lot more than Harrison Ford did about Deckard.
Oh, yeah. I think everyone thought about this movie much more than Harrison Ford did. Harrison was just like, I'll do this so I can get some more money to do my carpentry stuff. I like building things.
I didn't think that was a question even worth asking. It's just like anybody's more invested than Harrison.
He found out he was going to be wet the entire time and factored in the trench foot that he was going to get. And he was just like, fuck this. Bryant has Deckard meet with the CEO of the company that creates the replicants, Eldon Tyrell, so he can administer the VK test on a Nexus 6 to see if it works. Tyrell expresses his interest in seeing the test fail first and asks him to administer it on his assistant, Rachel. After a much longer than standard test, Deckard concludes privately to Tyrell that Rachel is a replicant who believes she is human. Tyrell explains that she is an experiment who he has given false memories to provide an emotional cushion and that she has no knowledge of her true nature. So, some people call her Sean Young in Blade Runner. Other people call it Sam Worthington in Terminator Salvation. Who's to say, really?
Okay. I thought you were going to say, and some people call her Chani in David Lynch's Dune, which is also the other thing I know her from. I'll be real honest. These are the only two films I know her from. I looked at her IMDb and I'm like, I know the name and I know that she has a reputation in terms of like being a bit of a disaster behind the scenes of every movie she's in. But like I watched this movie and it's like, oh, she's a robot. And then the whole scene is like, oh, by the way, she's a robot. It's like, well, duh.
I have a question. Because we find out specifically that Tyrell has used memories of his niece. They don't really acknowledge how they got those memories and if she consented.
Mm-hmm.
Well, based on what we see.
And it's weird because it's just like the movie in a way is all about these morals, but it doesn't acknowledge that moral quandary like at all.
Well, with Tyrell, most of the stuff he does and believes in is rarely challenged because he is such an apathetic creature of capitalist greed.
He just did.
He just did it. I mean, he's also like an interesting, it's so bizarre watching this scene because you've got Harrison Ford doing zero acting. Then you've got Sean Young who is like, I'm a robot, but it's supposed to be your character's not aware they're a robot, Sean. Ridley, please direct her better. And then you've got the guy, that little freak that from The Shining. You got him there as Tyrell, and he's like, I'm the masterclass actor here. I'm going to outshine everyone, and it's almost distracting about how much he's giving a shit.
I'm really going to use these glasses.
I'm a little weirdo, and I'm going to just steal every moment of this. And I'm good for you, buddy. Like, good for you. Like, what a champion. But it was just such a disorientating scene because it's so slow paced. We know what the outcome is, and we've got 2 out of 3 actors just really not giving it their all.
Mm.
Well, especially if you, like Alex and I, are big fans of the PTA masterpiece, The Master. We've seen a similar scene that was a lot more lively, right? Like, Alex, were you waiting for Harrison Ford to tell Sean Young not to blink and for her to start slapping her face so she wouldn't blink and start recounting her sexual experiences with her uncle or her aunt?
That's right. Yeah, and then we would find, a year or 2 later, a really good reel of outtakes where they're trying to talk about cigarettes and they can't do it. So.
Yeah. We've seen processing. We've seen it done better, and this was not it. I am surprised that we've brought up Sean Young, and I keep waiting for somebody to bring up Ace Ventura, and nobody did. So I guess I have to be that guy.
No, I was waiting. She was Ray Finkel.
Yeah. So she's
Detective
used to
Einhorn.
playing. Yeah, she's used to playing characters that have secrets that are not, what you see at first. And
okay. This makes me worry, though, that no one else has seen her audition to be Catwoman in Batman Returns, and it feels like something I'm going to have to talk about in the second half. So,
oh boy, I know of it. I haven't seen it, but I know of the stories.
Brother,
Sounds like I'm glad that I haven't.
In searching Leon's hotel room, and also to go back to a quick point that Ryan made about our friend Brian James here, he is a quintessential that guy. And Julio, just looking over here, Nickelodeon, he was in 48
Really?
Hours. Yeah, he's had several appearances here on the Contrarians. So
I remember him in Enemy Mine. He comes in at the end as like an evil bad guy, and he gets his eye scratched out, which just makes him even angrier.
he was in the 94 comedy classic Cabin Boy starring Chris Elliott. But yeah, he was a guy who stayed very busy throughout the 90s. And the one thing I always think of with his face in particular is he plays General Monroe in The Fifth Element. And I just see that close up of him sweating. So back to Brian James or Leon. In searching Leon's hotel room, Deckard finds photos and a scale from the skin of an animal, which is later identified as a synthetic snake scale. Deckard returns to his apartment where Rachel is waiting. She tries to prove her humanity by showing him a family photo, but Deckard reveals that her memories are implants from Tyrell's niece, and she leaves in tears. Replicants Roy and Leon, meanwhile, investigate a replicant eye manufacturing laboratory and learn of J.F. Sebastian, a gifted genetic designer who closely works with Tyrell. Pris locates Sebastian and manipulates him to gain his trust. So, a couple things here. First of all, is it really Deckard's place to explain to Sean Young that she's not? I mean, that's some delicate shit to explain. You are not a human.
He doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Clearly.
He's a Blade Runner. He doesn't think of them as humans, so he doesn't respect their rights because they don't have rights.
But you kind of get the feeling that even if he thought of her as human, he would still do it. He doesn't care about anything in this movie. That's kind of like his MO. He just moves around life, eating noodles and shooting people and kind of, I guess, collecting his paycheck.
He's an empathy void as well as a charisma void.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, a big thing, too, to call out here. Terrible game. Because it becomes apparent that he's just looking to smash. And he...
Oh, really? He has terrible game.
What?
Whoa. Could you hold on the phone? I think this is the most controversial thing to say about Blade Runner is that the romance here isn't very good.
Deckard in particular.
Fuck, man. I'm gonna have to hold back the crowds are gonna crucify you for that one, Alex.
Okay. Bad joke. I made a bad joke. You're not a replicant. Go home. Okay?
When he makes her cry and then offers her a drink, I was just like, brother, you're going in reverse here.
Well, we're in the Contrarians Corner, so we don't know if that's really his opinion.
Oh yeah, he loves it. No, he does do manipulative shit. Like he makes her cry, he gaslights her, he almost like physically assaults her at points, and then he's like, "What's?" He does.
Her from leaving.
That's a bit later, and then he's like, "Oh, what are you crying for? Have a drink, aren't I nice?"
I was kidding. It was all a joke.
I'm just love bombing you.
Yeah, he's a terrible person. I think that is something that once you get past the way the movie looks, which is really the main thing that hits you when you start watching Blade Runner, like holy shit.
And the way it sounds.
Yeah, and the way it sounds and everything, right? But that can only hold your attention for so long, and then you start kind of digging into the characters, and he's such an unpleasant person to be around. And the movie is about him. You know, we follow him, so it's
stuck.
Yeah, he doesn't really make for an enjoyable experience watching him be do this investigation. It's like my note says Deckard is the reason that they call detectives dicks, because he's just the worst. And on top of that, the investigation itself is not that interesting. Like
enhance, zoom, left, enhance.
It goes on forever. And it's just a lot of him kind of rummaging around places. Alex, were you missing? I know we reference it all the time, but Star Trek Beyond, when the big Idris Elba reveal with the enhance, they take care of that in like 10 seconds.
Oh, yeah, the SummerSlam 2002 reveal. Yeah. I'm more like, can he not afford a pair of blinds? Just the way the light is constantly just glaring in it. It's like fucking floodlights everywhere. No one can afford blinds in 2019 Los Angeles, apparently.
Tyrell can.
Yeah, Tyrell has those. He has his like little thing that like shuts the glass into like a dark mode. That was pretty cool.
But he also chooses to have 30 candelabras going while he's sleeping. So
well, he's rich.
Yeah,
that's a rich person.
The sign of wealth in the future is candelabras, which I am all for. I love a good candle.
And knowing what snakes are. Yeah,
that too, and being good at chess. We already did call out here Bill Sanderson as JF Sebastian and Daryl Hannah as Pris, who Julio, what was the last time we talked about her with? I guess that would have been Kill Bill.
Yeah, she's who is she? She the mountain snake?
She's the one that whistles and gets her eyes plucked out. She's the one that doesn't get killed on that list.
She suffers a worse death in this one, or a worse fate.
She suffered in this movie.
Yeah,
she suffered in that scene. In that scene where she meets Sebastian. Did you clock this? She like fully like does a banana peel slip on the pavement and like smashes through the window of his car and starts bleeding profusely. That just happened. That was real. That was Daryl Hannah just getting injured, and she still has like a fucked up elbow from that all of these years later. Isn't that safety, Ridley? I know you want everything wet on set, but you got to be careful.
Well, they got her here to play the proto Harley Quinn. And it's just Harley Quinn without the charm, right? Like she has the makeup and she has kind of like the whimsy, but somehow she doesn't have what present day Harley Quinn does.
She has better accent. I'll give her that.
Yeah, but would you watch
one.
a spin-off movie about Pris going around?
Look, Julio, I know we're in Contrarians Corner, but you're pushing me to real talk. Do I want to watch a movie of Daryl Hannah in a skin-tight suit jumping around? Yeah, obviously. Come on.
I mean,
get real.
I'm appealing to your film critic.
My film brain.
Yeah, not your hormones.
Yes. My heart is appealing to my heart, not my head.
Your hindbrain.
My hindbrain. Yeah, that's what's getting in the way here. Look, she's good in this movie, but look, she's paired up with Bill Sanderson, and that's another guy who's here to just be like, look, I'm a guy who's going to do some acting in this film. I'm going to play a young old man. That's what my character is. I'm a young old man. My name is Gary Young Old Man.
Do you think that the special effects, the prosthetics, whatever it is that they have on his face to make him look old, did it look better before they blew it up to 4K? Because when you're watching it today, especially once you get into the close-ups, it just doesn't seem to be on par with the special effects that are all over the movie.
No, it just looks like he's little bits of dried tissue on his face.
Alex, are you going to come to the defense of your practical effects?
I mean, yes, I want to, but also the effects of this movie are not something that have aged very gracefully. I will call out, there's that one shot they're so proud of with the giant video billboard of the Asian woman, very happy. And they go back to that shot quite repeatedly.
They also show us Coca-Cola and Pan Am a few times.
There's an Atari sign too.
Oh, yeah, there was an Atari sign.
Budweiser.
Gotta pay the bills.
Did make me want a big bowl of noodles. And then it's the Ninja Turtles pizza thing. Like they make the food look so unrealistically appetizing. Like Harrison Ford just gets his big bowl of noodles. I'm like, I have no idea what broth that is, but the noodles are so big that I want some right now. Give them to me.
Look, we need to talk about the James Hong eyeball scene, because this is also the introduction of Rutger Hauer.
Our main bad guy.
Of our main Billy Idol bad guy.
The guy who would eventually try to force Bruce Wayne out of the board.
But is he really the bad guy?
Fiery the angels fell. Deep thunder rolled around their shores, burning with the fires of Orc.
So Rutger Hauer appears as we get just like a reveal of an eyeball in this Sub-Zero like walk-in freezer that the aforementioned James Hong is working on. And yeah, this is how we learn that Rutger Hauer and Brian James are indeed they're replicants, because he immediately puts his hand in it's like fucking liquid nitrogen or something they lead you to believe. And yeah, but anyway, James Hong unfortunately is not long for the world of Blade Runner as they start ripping his like insulated clothes off. I do love how for as technologically advanced as this movie like portrays 2019, James Hong's like warming mechanisms are just like hoses plugged into his jacket, and like you would rig it up in your backyard if you were trying to camp out and it was too cold or something. So but yeah, they kill the fun there pretty quick. But yeah, a lot of just loose eyeballs hanging out.
Oh yeah, and a lot of just that guy character actors show up for a scene in this movie. James Hong, he was in everything. He's still in everything. That guy's still at it, I'm pretty sure. But I cheered when I saw him. And then Rutger Hauer, he's doing his whole "I'm a European actor" thing. I'm going to soliloquize at you while we hurt you. And I love just James Hong just no-selling him, just being like, oh, okay, like. It was just so good. And you said it. There's all of these eyeball stuff, and they're like, so we need you to help us. It's like, oh, I only do eyes. I don't do anything else. I'm just the eye guy. I can't help you with your need to survive, because the big pitch of the movie too is Tyrell mentioned earlier that the replicants have a built-in failsafe of a 4-year lifespan. They planned obsolescence, and that's why Rutger Hauer and the gang are doing what they're doing. They're trying to hunt down ways to survive.
But it's only the newer models, right? Like only the new models have that 4-year lifespan. The older replicants don't have that. Yeah. I was confused by the timeline of the movie because, I mean, it seems like things happen very quickly, right? Like they were detected as arriving to Earth, and then as soon as they arrived on Earth, they set about making their way to Tyrell. But somehow, two of these replicants found the time to like get jobs because Leon was working at a construction site when they pulled him over for that interview. And a little bit, we're going to find that Zora found a job as a dancer. So how long have they been around? Or is it just that the unemployment rate is really low in this version of 2019 America?
Most people are off-world.
Yeah, it seems like Earth is like the last stop you should be at.
Everybody wants off.
Everybody wants off, and the people who are stuck, they either are people in power or the disenfranchised. So that's kind of why, the jobs you mentioned too, fairly easy jobs to get if you have, one's an exotic dancer and the other's a construction worker. Like if you have set of skills or looks or whatever, you can get those jobs relatively quickly and they're easy money. But, I just like Julio just scratching his head being like, how do those lower income people get jobs so quickly? How do they do that?
How does anybody get a job that quickly in America in 2019?
Yeah, that's why, this is how you know that this is a science fiction film, because they got a job quickly.
Alex, that timeline is it doesn't look too bad, actually, compared to post-COVID USA.
Absolutely not.
Good for Leon for getting on the workforce right away. Well, I like Roy Batty. I think... that attitude that he brings to the movie, that's Rutger Hauer somehow being able to tell that when it's all said and done, he is the one that people are going to be quoting. Nobody's going to remember anything that Deckard said. But his little speech at the end of the movie, that's the one that's going to survive. And it's going to be a meme and everything. And so he knows. And maybe Harrison Ford knew too. And that's why he's giving minimum effort.
Look, Rutger Hauer has the advantage because he doesn't read the script. He makes up his own lines, and they just happen to be the best, which says a lot about the script of this movie. That if an actor can come in and just do his own stuff, and it's the stuff everyone knows of this film, it must make the two screenwriters of this feel real ashamed of themselves.
Man, my boy David Peoples. Getting trounced here.
More like David Feeble.
Ew. A photograph from Leon's apartment, and the snake scale lead Deckard to a strip club where Zora works. After a confrontation and chase, Deckard kills Zora. Brian also orders him to retire Rachel, who has disappeared from the Tyrell Corporation. Deckard spots Rachel in a crowd, but he is ambushed by Leon, who knocks the gun out of Deckard's hand and beats him as Leon is about to kill Deckard. Rachel saves him by using Deckard's gun to kill Leon. They return to Deckard's apartment, and during a discussion, he promises not to track her down. As Rachel abruptly tries to leave, Deckard restrains her and forces her to kiss him, and she ultimately relents. Deckard leaves Rachel at his apartment and departs to search for the remaining replicants. So, first of all, Deckard is really bad at being like a detective because he has to put he has to put on this persona of why he's like borderline accosting Zora in her dressing room. That he's
why
there.
Does he do a voice? She doesn't know who he is. It makes no difference.
Yeah,
he's like, I'm doing
strange.
A little voice. Why is he doing that?
These dirty little holes people can look in through, and it's and she like sees through it pretty quickly. So that's one. The other thing I want to call out from this this section of the film is
enhance?
I did not realize.
Is it enhance? Zoom in. We need that for 15 minutes of the film. Enhance. Zoom in. Enhance. He's a great detective, because he sat down, drunk a whole bunch of alcohol, and just said, "Zoom in." There it is.
Left, right. Zoom in, zoom out.
It's a
45.
It's a futuristic noir, There's got to be alcohol and some just long staring at something. But no, I didn't realize this movie, and I tried to look this up, and from everything I could find, Wake Up, Time to Die originated with this. And of course, I always think of Axl Rose, when he, back in the golden age of Guns N' Roses, that's what he would scream at the beginning of Welcome to the Jungle. But Wake Up, Time to Die, there's obviously a lot of uses of that throughout pop culture that you can find. So I was kind of like, when he said that, I was like, is it from this? And by everything I could find, yes, it is. So
Axl Rose, big Blade Runner fan. That's what you're saying.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
He's an intellectual man.
He is. Enhance. Just a picture of Slash for all those years that he was super bitter. Okay. And then also Rachel, I mean, this gun they use looks to be a pretty high-powered fucking hand cannon, and she's got a pretty good shot on her. I mean, that would be, I guess, the the benefit of being a robot, but at the same time, she looks very scared by what she did, but yeah, blows his head off. And then, yeah, I mean, when we get to the apartment, things get really fucking weird. So,
well, it starts. Well, before we get there, it's already weird because the film takes a turn because he is the best Blade Runner. They bring him out of retirement. His job is slave catcher. That's his job. They're not supposed to catch them. They're supposed to execute them, and they give it a euphemistic term, retire them, because they're not human. And then he does his little comedic bit where he does a silly voice. He tries to be Kurt Russell in Big Trouble in Little China. He tries to do that little scene. He tries to do the, Humphrey Bogart in The Big Sleep. That's what it's actually a reference to. But the difference is it actually makes sense in that movie. But here's the thing. He meets Zora. She fucking clocks him one. She's like, you're a piece of shit. I'm out of here. And the turn happens is he guns her down in the street. Everything goes in slow motion. The music swells. And his character has this haunted, regretful look on his face.
Oh my God, what have I done?
I just murdered a helpless woman. Why does he feel that way at all when his entire career is to hunt down robots that he doesn't believe to be human? He's been treating Rachel, who's in love with him, like a piece of shit throughout this movie. Why does this moment change? And it's because, well, this is the midway point of the film where things have to change. And so when he then enters into the apartment with Rachel, it's not just it's awkward because of the bad chemistry and all of the assault stuff. He literally just murdered a helpless woman, in his opinion. So it adds an extra level of skeeziness to this entire affair.
Will you kiss me?
I can't rely on...
Say, kiss me.
Yeah, I think if you were on the fence about the Deckard character, that this is the moment where you really should be just repulsed because the way it's shot, it's pretty graphic, the way that he kills Zora. And I don't really... Deckard's reaction, I understand why it's there, but it doesn't really have any bearing on my reaction. My reaction is like, man, he went overboard. And we haven't seen, unlike with Roy Batty and Leon, we haven't seen Zora hurt anybody. So it feels like an overreaction on his part. And it really drives home the idea that he is hunting down people that might be innocent. Yeah, it's just gross.
He gets asked if he's ever killed an innocent person. Has he ever mistaken a human being for a replicant? And he doesn't answer that.
Yeah, he doesn't answer. That's a very pointed shot.
He also gets asked, do you ever do this test on yourself? He doesn't answer that either.
Well, that part is like, come on, it takes forever. Why would I waste my time? But I think that from that to transition to what I am afraid the movie thinks is a romantic scene, and all of us watching it today see it as a very disturbing instance of a man just basically forcing himself on a woman. It goes from gross to even grosser.
When you get to the point where he makes her say that she wants it.
Yeah, that's not how consent works, Deckard.
It's so gross.
It's sexual coercion, yeah.
Well, I said, well, like I'm going to argue with that. The whole thing is that...
I was going to say, Alex, I know you're in Contrarians Corner, but don't put on that hat for this one, buddy.
No, yeah. No, the whole thing, too, that makes it even weirder, just like from a base level, is that we, the audience, know she's a robot. So he's like, it's like trying to teach a pet like new behavior. It's very strange, but the whole thing is that she's also trying to process human emotion because that's what she's like led to believe she is. So yeah, it makes the whole situation as an audience member, squirm in your seat type situation.
But the movie is not designed to make you squirm. I mean, I don't think that Ridley Scott and the screenwriters thought that was what was happening, right? Because
not with this scene.
No, it definitely feels like ignorance.
I think they do want you to squirm in your seat with like the murder of Zora and what he will continue to go on to do. But with this scene and this romance, this is supposed to, I'm not joking, this is real talk for me, the heart of the film. This is supposed to be the heart of the film, and there's no pulse here. And what there is like deeply, deeply, deeply disturbing. They're wanting to play around with noir and femme fatale tropes. But the thing about the femme fatale is they often had agency. And Rachel is not afforded agency because she is literally property, whether it be to Tyrell or in this instance, to Deckard. You are mine. You love me. Do what I say. Don't leave. I'll protect you with my big gun.
They even have the score kick, like the really, like the sexy sax.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, yeah, the whole thing is pretty icky. And then there's no, because I could say, oh, well, maybe we're misreading it because there's going to be a fallout, but there's no fallout. Like they're basically a couple after this scene. It leads into them being a couple. Next time we see her, he's just waking her up with a kiss. And that's pretty much the end of that. Man, I know it was the 80s, but still, it's pretty uncomfortable to watch.
Look, Harrison Ford in his romances and films is often very good with the antagonistic type romance, like in Indy or in Star Wars. But it's different in this movie because it goes beyond just little jabs and Barbie kind of quippy stuff to him literally like grabbing her.
He shoves her into a window.
Yeah, it's so aggressive.
Yeah, the whole thing with Leia is she like repeatedly calls him an idiot and an asshole and stuff. So there's at least a bit of rat-a-tat.
She manhandles him.
She has agency. She has agency. Rachel doesn't have any.
Well, onto a slightly healthier relationship, which is Pris pulling that old trick on Sebastian, where a girl shows interest and then introduces you to her boyfriend. That was
classic.
Alex, yeah. Did you just feel that pain of recognition, Alex?
The work wife. Yeah. The weird part is though that Sebastian's like, can I watch? Like he's really into what's going on here, and he's like lurking around the corner, and he knows what they are pretty quickly because he helped create them. But yeah, she definitely. I mean, it's Daryl Hannah for Christ's sake, so she bats her eyes and gets in. But yeah, it is kind of funny, and especially because it's a thing of like there's no competition there because Rutger Hauer is very wet, very moist, as Rachel called out earlier, and very good looking. So Bill Sanderson just has to acquiesce and be like, "You guys want to play chess?
I got my toys."
he has many toys.
I can't be lonely if I've got my toys.
You guys can watch, and I'll play with the toys.
I'll act it out with my chessmen. Julio, you kind of got where I was going because Roy arrives at Sebastian's apartment, tells Pris that the other replicants are dead. Sebastian reveals that because of a genetic premature aging disorder, his life will be cut short, like the replicants that were built with a 4-year lifespan. Roy uses Sebastian to gain entrance to Tyrell's penthouse. This is the aforementioned sprawling mansion with endless candelabra. He demands more life from his maker, which Tyrell says is impossible. Roy confesses that he has done questionable things, but Tyrell dismisses them, praising Roy's advanced design and accomplishments, in his short life. Roy then kisses Tyrell and kills him by crushing his eyes and skull. Sebastian tries to flee, but is later reported dead. So, like real corporate America, Tyrell says here, I appreciate the work you've done, but it's just not in the budget, brother. We can't afford to give you a raise, Holiday bonuses will not be coming out this year. And what's the line he says? The light that burns brightest burns twice as fast. I mean, he could have used the fucking word like KPI or the phrase KPIs or, synergy or something in there just to really put it over the top. But
yeah, he grabs a mug and leans against the office space and just goes, yeah.
Leans on the cubicle wall.
He even has the big glasses, yeah.
Hey, he's not stupid enough to lean against anything. He's got too many candelabras.
Can't risk a fire, no.
He's wearing a big dressing gown.
He looks comfy.
Yeah.
Before he gets his eyes crushed in.
Oh, yeah. Very metal. Very fucking metal. It's
Subtext is for cowards because Tyrell is, short-sighted as a person, and you can tell because he has big glasses because he's short-sighted, and then he has his eyes crushed in because of his short-sightedness. Do you get it? Do you get it? He also got killed by the robot whose name is Roy Batty because he's a robot that's a little batty. Do you get it? Subtext is for cowards, motherfuckers.
He would go on to be on a Batman movie. Batty, Batman. Yeah, everything is connected.
I've done questionable things.
Also extraordinary things. Revel in your time.
Julio, you ever kissed a boss when they told you couldn't get a raise?
No, but if I had, it would probably be as a prelude to gouging their eyes out. So I appreciate the technique.
How do you think Julio got the job he's got now?
I was going to say that was kind of bored while all this was going on, because, like, we already know that what's going to happen here.
We're just waiting.
Yeah. We knew Tyrell wasn't going to make it out of this room alive. We knew that the replicants are not gaining a life extension. I mean, this is just, we're kind of like going through the motions. But the entire time I'm thinking, you know what? Everything is okay, because decades down the line, Ridley Scott actually gets to make a much better movie that's about meeting your maker. And that movie is Prometheus.
So, no, Gladiator 2. Oh, okay.
No, I'm not ready to speak that way about Gladiator 2. But Prometheus, I've watched it enough. I'm like, yeah, that's the quest of finding your origins. That's there. And I guess it's kind of funny and fun to see a director's pet themes. And, here, Roy Batty is obsessed with just reaching his creator so he can, in this case, it's a little more pedestrian. He literally has like an ask. He's like, hey, can you like extend my life? Prometheus, I think that he kind of cracked the code. It's like, no, it has to be a little more abstract. You just want to meet them and say, hey, what's up? Why did you create
jerks me? And they're jerks as well that just say, fuck you, I'm gonna rip off your robot's head and beat you to death with it, motherfucker.
There's no question of why Tyrell made them.
No. He's not interested in that. I think that Roy is happy with...
And they serve a function.
Yeah, but also he's not, at least it doesn't seem like he's interested in that bit of introspection, right? Like all he wants is just to keep living. So, I mean, the movie doesn't give the replicants any time to be more introspective than that. So that's I guess, another failing of the movie.
At Sebastian's apartment, Deckard is ambushed by Pris, but kills her as Roy returns. We'll circle back to this. Roy's body begins to fail as the end of his lifespan nears. He chases Deckard through the building and onto the roof. Deckard tries to jump onto another roof, but is left hanging from the edge. Roy makes the jump with ease as Deckard's grip loosens. Roy hoists him onto the roof to save him. Before Roy dies, he laments that his memories will be lost in time like tears in the rain. He also says, I've seen things you couldn't imagine. Gaff arrives to congratulate Deckard, also reminding him that Rachel will not live, but then again, who does? Deckard returns to the apartment to retrieve Rachel. While escorting her to the elevator, he notices a small origami unicorn on the floor, recalling Gaff's words, but still departs with Rachel.
Yeah, recalling his words from literally 1 minute ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just in case you forgot.
Just in case you needed a reminder.
The contempt for the audience.
You couldn't understand what he was thinking about without that.
Yeah. If
No.
If only this film had voiceover narration throughout it, I think it would have been a lot better with it.
So was Edward James Olmos there also trying to, court Rachel? Is that what we're supposed to believe with this?
No, that's supposed to be a romantic unicorn.
His origami fell out of his pocket on the way out after...
Of course, the biggest plot point that I'm noticing Alex didn't include in his summary anywhere was throughout the film, there's just random shots of a unicorn that was from Ridley Scott's previous film, Legend, shoved in throughout this movie for no apparent reason. And then it's an origami unicorn at the end. Ooh.
Yeah, I figured the not origami, but that and the voiceover and a couple other things are, I think, going to be talking points of the second half. But yeah, it's I don't know, Julio, you down with the unicorn?
You down with the horn?
The horn?
I'm down with the horn. I mean, I like that it says. I mean, we've established through this conversation that the Gaff character is probably the most interesting character in the movie, and he's barely there. So I appreciate that we get that final twist there where he seems to be showing compassion, And we did not need Harrison Ford to get a...
It's also a threat to the origami, like, I was here.
Right. But I think it's a warning in the sense of, like, I was here, which means that you're very easy to track. Like, anybody can, like, break in here, so you need to get out of here. Like, that's how I choose to read it. And I'm like,
because the film ends with this version of it ends with them looking fucking terrified and getting into the lift being like, we need to go.
Do you think they're looking terrified because they know that 2049 is in the horizon and it's going to come for them eventually?
Sean Young's real terrified because she knows what her future career will look like, and Harrison Ford's feeling pretty easy about his.
Worst comes to worst, I'll just do Han Solo again.
They'll fucking kill him this time like I wanted the last time.
Alex, let's go back to Daryl Hannah, because she gets dispatched, retired, I guess, in a very unceremonious manner. She's doing the acrobatics. She's doing it literally is like when you fight Harley Quinn in Arkham Asylum or Arkham Knight, Arkham City, one of those Batman games where she
knows how to use those thighs.
She's running too many high spots, man, and gets killed for it. She's trying to do all these fucking cartwheels and backflips, and it's just like, just fucking kill him.
Right?
And then, yeah.
She sticks her fingers up his nose at some point. I thought that was
it's
over.
It's a Three Stooges. She does Three Stooges at him. I was waiting for him to go at him.
Yeah, it's like she forgot that he had a gun.
No, Harrison Ford does so much rubber face acting in this. Did you guys notice this? Anytime he's grabbed or shook, his whole face goes like like a real Richard Nixon rubber cheeks wobble effect. Go back at the scene where Leon grabbed him and was about to kill him, and he's just throwing Harrison Ford around, and Harrison Ford's face changes from stoic Harrison Ford to like a Play-Doh man. It's just so hilarious. And in this final sequence where Roy Batty's like breaking his fingers, look at Harrison Ford's face acting. It's like the one time he's like, oh, I'm going to put energy in. And it's just him being like,
I mean, he has to. Rutger Hauer made him wake up. He's like, all right, you need to keep up with me for this climatic
Rutger Hauer's
scene.
like, I didn't read the script. I'm doing my own thing. I am going to break your fingers.
Yes. Hey, what if I break his fingers now? This fight goes on forever, Alex. I could just picture you tapping your foot on the floor, just waiting for it to be over. It's worse when you've seen it already, because it's like, all right, just get to the rooftop so we can get to the scene that everybody wants to watch. But before then, there's a lot of like running around and Batty breaking
teasing
walls. Yeah, there's doves. And there's
he puts
howling.
his head through a wall, and then he gets it stuck in the wall, which I thought was a great little detail. Like he's like, "Uh-oh,
whoops,
oopsies! Oh no, Harrison Ford's grabbing a pipe."
Yeah, this strategy is really weird, because I've always assumed that the best way to run out of a building is through the first floor, not to climb up to the roof. Like that's like a rookie mistake. You don't go up, you go down. And
well, he's
again,
dying. He's dying anyway, so it's going to take Deckard down with him.
No, but him, like Deckard, shouldn't be going up, right?
Yeah,
like he's
why
chasing
is
Deckard.
trying to get to the roof.
Oh, because he's an idiot.
Yeah, but he's the best they had.
Yeah, that. What does that say?
Right.
The other Blade Runner we saw got killed after 2 questions.
Like, yeah, I am going to sit down with the guy that I'm pretty sure is a replicant and not check his pockets.
Yeah, I'm going to sit
not
down.
do anything.
Yeah, I'm going to sit down with the guy and say, you pick up a tortoise, and the guy, like, when he doesn't know what a tortoise is, he literally has steam coming out of his ears and has like blood red eyes and is like gripping his like pants to grab something. I'm just going to keep sitting there like a dummy. Like these Blade Runners, cool name for them, but really they're just a bunch of dopes with guns.
You better get it up. I'm gonna have to kill you. Unless you're alive. You can't play, and if you don't play...
I guess that makes sense, right? Like if the bar is so low, then of course Harrison Ford would be the best one. He looks out though, and this is probably the most contrived thing in the movie. That just when you tell me that these replicants have 4 years lifespan, I don't expect like the 4-year mark to happen during the climax. Like
Pays
why? But I mean, how convenient.
It's just like, and now he's dead. Like the batteries run out.
Yeah,
you know it's serious because when Rutger Hauer puts his head down to indicate that he dies, they, in post-processing, put it in slow-mo so that it actually looks like he died and it just feels like it, rather than he put his head down after saying his speech. Like, let's just make this shot that was clearly like 2 seconds of him having his head still after putting his head down after monologuing to indicate that he died.
Well, Ryan, I knew it was serious because a dove flew out of his hand.
Yeah, and I know what it's like when doves cry now. After watching
Sick.
Tears in the Rain, Alex. Are we just too jaded? Like, has it been memed to death? Has pop culture ruined what might have been a good ending speech at some point, but by now it's just almost meaningless because everybody quotes it, everybody screenshots it. Are you sick of the Rutger Hauer?
Are you telling me the internet ruined something?
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, look, and this will bleed into real talk here. This movie is one of the defining movies of our generation that people utilize to like mold their personality around. And everyone has met someone whose favorite movie is Blade Runner, and the air of pretension and self-satisfaction they get with telling you that.
I've seen multiple cuts of the film too, and all of them are good.
Exactly.
It's a perfect film.
No flaws.
It doesn't surprise me. But I guess to your question, yeah, undoubtedly there's folks out there that use the Rutger Hauer meme that have never seen this movie, nor do they understand the context that he's talking about, that fucking essentially the United States government created him to go out and kill innocent people.
Yeah, it's those words are on t-shirts now.
There's a lot of words on t-shirts in 2025.
That's true.
Yeah. I found it a very jarring decision that when Deckard killed Zora, it was shown like he's killing an innocent, defenseless woman, that she's human. Like the whole point of the movie is replicants are more human than human, right? Like that's the deal. And like the irony being that the characters with the most agency and emotions are the replicants more so than the human characters. But then when he shoots Daryl Hannah, she like starts doing like a mechanical spasming on the ground and like starts screaming in this inhuman way.
She's just fritzing out.
It sends a muddled message to what your film is supposed to be saying about these replicants. And then when Roy, he starts shutting down, he's like, this isn't fair. And he gives his big speech to, again, go back to this idea that these robots are more human than humans are. It makes the Daryl Hannah death stand out even more as a strange, odd choice, where even the other replicants that die in this movie, they die in human ways. But when she gets shot, she just starts fritzing out like she's a broken
Leon
robot.
When Leon gets shot, it really highlights that he is not human, the way that his like face goes out.
Right.
He doesn't like...
I don't know. I didn't feel the same way. I mean, it was like a human's head exploding in front of you and then they fall down.
Yeah, but it stays out like plastic.
Yeah, I guess, but that's also maybe just like film production of stuff. Like maybe you're right on that, but it's still like noticeable that he just falls down. It's not like he gets shot in the head and then he keeps walking around and just glitching.
True.
She glitches out. She almost like clips through the floor. He has to keep shooting her for her to eventually stop. It's such a... I don't know what the thought process is there, but it really conflicts with the Tears in the Rain speech. Just like the things that I've seen. It's like, well, he just saw a lady start like fritzing out and having sparks almost come out of her from how much she was just like slamming the ground. It was just very, very weird filmmaking choices overall. Like I want to know what Sir Ridley Scott's thought process was.
I would like to
during that.
Understand, please.
Yeah, I want to know why he said, hey, Daryl, I need you to do this when you die. It's okay that you've done a bunch of flips and stuff. Like, that's pretty cool and all, but how about you do this?
I think maybe he just thought that they would annoy Harrison Ford. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, do you want to really get under his skin?
Although you're going to say Daryl Hannah just did that.
Anyway, it is a bittersweet ending, I guess, in this cut. I don't remember how the theatrical ends, like what the difference is as far as...
It's like landscape shots and an indication that they drove off to a happy ending.
They drive, right? You see them drive. I'm getting it mixed up with Brazil, so that's why I'm not sure. You actually see them drive away?
I don't remember. I've never watched the theatrical cut. I've seen the ending like online to see the difference, but I've never actually sat down. I don't even know how widely available the theatrical cut is nowadays.
That's the Rob Zombie contract.
There you go. I'm going to be honest. It took me a second to realize you're talking about Brazil, the movie. I was like, you confuse Los Angeles with Brazil in a fictional timeline?
Anyway, I think that we are ready for real talk. There's so much real talk waiting to be unpacked.
Most certainly.
Yeah, Alex has got his little origamis ready to counter every point we say.
Indeed.
A little rooster to show that we're being a cock about it.
All right, let's go to real talk.
Wake up! Time